So if you ever wake up to the simulation, and you should, and it's really easy because the word simulation is similar. Similar. God made man in his image. The word image is like, a copy, similar. When you see Jesus, you see the Father. That's what he told his disciples. When you see me, you see the Father. They said, show us the Father. He said, have I been so long with you that you don't see me? I've been here the whole time. You don't see me? Similate. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You got the real and you got the simulation. Now there's going to be a new heaven, a new earth even. So even the present heaven is going to be renovated. I don't know. There's three heavens. You got the first, second, third heavens. So I haven't studied that, but it's probably the first heaven. The first heaven and this earth is going to be renovated. First time it was renovated by water, second time by fire. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. This is a projection. This is a simulation. This is a storyline. The same thing happens every day. How many times have you seen this? 1,000 times in your city, wherever you're at. You see the merge right sign, road work ahead, the green. You've seen the same storyline every day of your life. It repeats. So if nothing out here changes, what's the purpose of the simulation? What's the purpose of it? To train you to think above. You get so tired of this place. You've seen it. Let's say you were a roofer. How many roofs do you have to put on before you get tired of it? Let's say you were a landscaper. How many lawns do you have to mow before you become an expert? The repeat training program is to make you an expert. And so the simulation is the same word as similitude. Similar. Similar to what? What's in heaven? So when you look at the objects, you're looking at object lessons. Notice that every car has a driver. There's a driver in every car. There's a head of a family. There's a head of a business. There's a head of a church. There's a head of a government. There's always somebody in the driver's seat. And then you got passenger seats. They're passive, but they're in the same car, ship, boat, whatever. This car is a ship. It's an airship floating on air. And so these airships are a mirror image of your body. So you learn to maintain your car ship because you got to get to work. You change the oil, change the filter, you take it to get it tuned up. So that's to teach you to tune up your own body. Quit eating sugar, sleep on time, drink some water, do some fasting, do some prayer to maintain your ship, your body ship. So everything happening out here is a reflection of what's in here. Because out here is a simulation to train you about what to do in here. You know when you're going down this road, and I could do this with any object, any lesson, but we're just talking about cars right now. So I go down the road and I got to stay between the lines. Notice the curb. I got to stay on this side of the curb to curb. So when you're walking your life, walking the way, God has to curb your sin because you might step over the line and God has to push you back. And this machine that you're in pushes you back because God created it to run itself. And so you'll see the red versus blue, and notice the red brakes and the blue tag. The red and blue, always there. Notice the black, white, and red on that car. It's always there. And so, notice the black, white, and red right there. Black, white, and red sign. Black, white, and red. No matter where you look, you're going to see black, white, and red. You're actually driving on the black, white, and red. The specks or the speckles is black, white, and red. So this simulation, when you wake up to it, and if you carry it to the nth degree, you'll say, I'm tired of this place. I'm tired of this simulation. What is it about? I've seen this 1,000 times. Well, it's to wake you up. But as you take that to the next level and the next level, and you go to the ultimate, you realize this is a training program to move you into worship. Most people worship their flesh, the world, the pride of life, or somebody else's flesh. The world, the flesh, and pride of life. Most people are worshiping the flesh. The snake is the flesh. You're born in sin. In sin did your mother conceive you. So the flesh is what most people worship. Their pride, their ego. If I was wanting to date some woman, over here, and if I was evil, I just go say, hey, you're pretty. Hey, I like your hair. Nice. What's your number? And the women, they do the same thing back to the man, build up his ego. The woman would probably say, you're strong, you're handsome, blah, 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 build up his ego. The flesh, to pride. So the whole game down here is to build somebody's, I'm not saying you should do this, I'm saying this is the game of the system, to build their ego, to build their pride, to make them think there's something. But every person is per the sun. There's nothing special about you. The only thing special is Jesus. Now God loves you, whoever you are, but you're no different than anybody else. You have gifts that other people don't have, yeah. There's different gifts that people have. In God's eyes, everybody's special. He went to the cross for everybody. And so, but when people are younger, they think they are special. I mean, Elon Musk thinks he's special. Alex Jones thinks he's special. They all think they're special. I don't think Joe Rogan thinks that way, but anybody who's narcissistic think they're special. Nations, American pride. See, that's how they're attacking. That's how they're attacking people from a child. It's an indoctrination into pride. It's an indoctrination into the world. It's an indoctrination to the flesh. The Jezebel and the Delilah, they'll say, look at my shape, look at my feet, look at my hair. They want to be seen. But then after you married about 30 days, or you dated them for about 30 days, then it becomes normalized. They got to keep up the front though. Let's go out, dude. Let's dress. She'll say, let me dress up and go out Friday night. She wants to be considered attractive. It's part of the snake eating itself. I mean, it happens in America. I mean, it doesn't. When you're married, it doesn't go away. If the woman wanted, oh, you're good at carpentry work. Oh, you're smart. You're good at math. You're this. When the woman builds the man's ego up, he's happy. When the man tells his wife, when a woman builds her husband's ego up, he's happy. When the man tells his wife, oh, she's pretty. You're pretty. I love you. You look great. Makes her happy, right? That's part of this. That's why I'm saying when you go in agreement with anything down here, you fall back down into the system. When you tie into a job, there's competition. When you tie into a marriage, there's always that 3D natural realm thing. The woman wants you to say she's pretty. The man wants the woman to build up his ego. There's always that No matter what you do, if you go to a job, you got to perform. They want you to perform. They want you to you want to outperform somebody else. It's always competition. It's always expectations. It's always rules and laws down here. Because the blue letter sky, the blue represents the law. The Bible even says it in the Old Testament. They put blue fringes on their garments to remind them of the law. The letter killeth, but the Spirit gives life. But the letter was a good thing because it showed you your sin. But the letter killeth because you can't keep the law. That's why it's all by grace. Jesus alone could keep the law. Let me put this on pause because I got to get a bite of this food real quick. Anything you do down here, there's always somebody stronger, smarter, faster, better, more in shape. Always somebody. With the women, there's always somebody prettier. There's also always somebody making more money. There's always a better way to do something. I mean, people invent stuff. So if you have any hope down here in this, think about as you get older. The Bible talks about the glory of an older man's the gray hair. But as the glory of the flower, it grows up. And you get this flower that the glory of the flower fades away. The glory of man fades away. You get the new heaven. You get the new body and the new heaven, the new earth, and that's a place where God is worshipped. So my point is, no matter what you do, that guy, he's walking, right? That guy's, how many times have you took a step your whole life? You started out as a baby walking, right? You've been walking your whole life. When's it gonna get old? No matter if you walk over there or walk over there, or no matter where you walk, where's that guy going anyway? Picking up a stick. No matter where you walk, you're still walking. You haven't really gone anywhere. You just took a step. STEP. EP is PE, physical education. ST is the snake on the cross. ST, T is the cross, S is the snake. So as you walked away, I forgot what, if you just Google EP, it'll help complete the electromagnetic pulse or something. But your pulse, walking is good for you, by the way. Walking is one of the healthiest things you could do. I would Google EP and complete my decode in real time, but it'll mess up the video. But it's not a coincidence, because it's all a holographic story. It's all complete. It's all tied together. STEP, STEP, is physical education. PE. Just take the EP and flip it. PE is physical education. That's not a coincidence. No true word which has an etymological, is that the right lesson? No true word that has an etymological root could ever be disconnected from the letters, the shapes, the positions, the anagram, the anagrams. It's all connected. I know it's hard to believe. It's multidimensional. This kind of thought process is multidimensional. When I saw it, it changed everything. I've only known one or two people, possibly 3 or 4, but I've only known 1 or 2 people can hear what I'm saying about that. If I'm telling you take any word and you do the anagram, it's going to show there. It's all going to be inside the holographic simulated projection. The whole truth's right in front of you. The whole truth is right in front of you, no matter what you look at, where you look. And the only way you're going to see it from my experience, I could be wrong, but the only way I was able to see it is through the etymology. I shouldn't be eating while I'm doing the video, but it is what it is. So look at that tree. It's got the tree trunk, right? Trunk goes back to like the trunk. The tree trunk goes back to sound doctrine. You just have to unfold it many ways, you'll see it. Then the branches. The branches branch off in electrical branch circuits, in plumbing branch circuits. So there's a trunk and the bark. It represents solid, sound doctrine. True. Tree, true, faithful, faith. True goes back to sound doctrine. Now it's got roots. The unseen, what's holding up that tree? The unseen realm, the roots, the root words, the root spiritual truths. What's holding up that tree? A root archetype. Let's look at that tree. What's holding up that tree? Roots. Same. There's a fractal right in front of you. Same truth. Same truth. Same truth. Every tree works the same. The trunk represents sound doctrine. The roots represent the root words, the root of this reality. The unseen holds this thing up. So the heaven, God made heaven and earth. What's holding all this together? It's unseen. But you can see it. Even Jesus said, you can see the wind blowing. Nicodemus, why is it so hard? Why can't you hear me, Nicodemus? Who said? You can see this. the wind blowing by the leaves moving, but you can't see the wind. So there's something behind it, the unseen. You must be born again. He says, what do you mean? Can I go back in my mother's womb? No. Spiritual, it's unseen. But you can see the result of it. You can see the result of a spiritually born again person because you can see the wind moving the leaves, and you can hear the words out of their mouth and the actions and their behavior and the way of thinking, the way of talking, the way of walking. Who they hang out with. I don't hang out with the lost. I don't hang out with the undone. I don't hang out with the religious but lost. I don't hang out with the political people. I don't hang out with the worldlings. The worldlings talk like the worldlings. I don't talk like them. I don't think like them. I don't hang out with them. I actually can't stand to be around them, to be honest with you. I can't stand to be around the unsaved, but just maybe 5 minutes. Because they always go into the worship in the natural realm. I really can't stand to be around the unsaved. Especially if they're above a certain age, because they've had enough time to accept Jesus, but to look for the truth, because if you look for the truth, you'll find it. God gives you a promise. If you look for God, He will reveal Himself, if you're serious. Knock, seek, ask. If you want to know what this place is, ask God. He'll reveal it to you. Look at all those cars going around that Chick-fil-A building in series, in sequence, following after. What does that mean? Everything's following after Jesus. Every person is per the Son. What is that? That wheel is turning. What does that mean? Everything's a cycle. Do not enter, red sign on. Why is it red? Because you're in a lot of trouble. You need the blood covering. The blood of Jesus covers this whole matrix. They're placing their order in a microphone. Order. Ordinance. How may I help you? How may I serve you? Serve one another. Why do they say, how do I serve you? How can I serve you? Because it's all a service. It's all a worship service. Why is it when you go to church, they say, thank you for coming to the service. It's a worship service. Everything is service. How may I serve you? Greatest among you is a servant. Going through the drive-thru tells you the same story. Looking at breaking the tree and the branches, the leaves, the seed falls off, dies, creates new life. All this stuff is saying the same thing. What are the root words? Cut, turn, union, and flow. Those cars are flowing. They're cutting their steering wheel. They're turning their steering wheel. They're in union with the ground. You can't think outside of those words. Cut is the cross. Turn is verse. Union is Amos 3:3. How can two walk together except they be in agreement? You got to be in agreement with God. Faith alone and Jesus alone. To be in union with God, you got to go through Jesus. Flow. Walking in the Spirit is the flow. Walking in the flesh is no flow. If you want to flow in life, if you want to flow in life, you better learn what walking in the Spirit means. And it's not rule-based living. It's living above the law, not under the law. If you can figure out what the Spirit walk is, you're in the flow. There's the red and the blue. Look at that on that stop sign. I'll show you something. So blue is law, right? Red is grace, the blood of Jesus. So you got this blue letter law, and you got the red grace. Law and grace, the Old Testament, New Testament, being preached right here in front of you, right before your eyes. The whole truth right before your eyes. Why do those trash cans look like Noah's Ark, you know? I decoded that a long time. I forget what I was talking about back then, but everything is type in a shadow. You might say, well, how do we know you're not making up that that's the blood? Look at all the places where you see red. Holographically, look at all the places where you see red, and you'll see it goes back to the blood. It goes back to grace. Look at all the places where you see blue. The police has a blue light on his car. Now you'll see some police stations, they have the red and blue. That tells you it's a game. It's just a game. The Gentile nation is just a game. They set all these laws that they don't even keep. As soon as I said that fireman went by with a red and a blue siren going. A red and blue light with a siren going. Tires. Tire is tear, where the rubber meets the road. The tear is the flesh. How is that car able to float with the tear? Because you got air in the tire. Air in the tire. Your body's the tear. Your flesh is nothing but sin, Romans chapter 7. But the Spirit, the same, in Romans 8, he says the same Spirit raised Jesus from dead will quicken your mortal body. So you're only able to float down here by the Spirit. Otherwise, your body's going back to the grave. It's all connected. So how do I trust what you're saying? Look at it holographically. Look at all the places where the letter S is. The letter S is integration. The letter S is summation. The letter S is a snake on the pole. Why? Because Jesus went to the cross, became sin for you to integrate you back into God. The letter S, no matter if it's calculus, no matter if it's the music, the scales on the music, anywhere you see an S, it's the snake on the pole. It's the integration of mankind back into God, with God, through Jesus at the cross, because he was nailed to the cross. It's really easy if you start to think holographically. You can decode this whole reality. There's only one way. Right there it is. Jesus is the way. This is why they hate me so much, because I see through it all. By the grace of God, I see this intersection, this crossroad. Crossroad. Road is the way. Crossroad. Crossword puzzle. The cross and the word is the puzzle. Crossword puzzle. Crossroad. Jesus is the way, the road. Cross. Take up your cross. It's right here in front of you. It's been here our whole lives. And when somebody reveals it to you, call them crazy, because you can't see it. So it's a storyline. It's a book.